Hello, thank you very much for tuning in. My name's Stuart, the Unrepentant Atheist. So, yeah, somebody mentioned this channel to me, Answers in Genesis. I also heard Matt Dillahunty talking about it on the line, mainly in a kind of ironic way, because a Christian phoned in with an argument, and to demonstrate how utterly kind of absurd and unacceptable the argument is, he referred to Answers in Genesis, saying that even Answers in Genesis reject this argument and tell you not to use it. So I thought we'd come and have a look. Obviously, the title of the channel suggests that there are valid answers to be found in Genesis, that Genesis has got some value at answering questions. So I decided to have a look and make a video on, I'm just reacting to this channel. It's the first time I've seen it. I'm going to have a little look around. I'm going to watch the introductory video in a moment, and then maybe have a look at some of the titles on the videos and make a few comments along the way. And if any of you guys know about this channel, you can maybe help me out and recommend some videos to me. So let's have a look. So we've got a banner here at the top, new videos weekly. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Christian smiles. Let me just 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, sorry, 10. Yeah, get my maths right. 10 Christian smiles. Yeah, okay. Let's read. Answers in Genesis. Subscribe now to learn how to defend the Christian faith. Okay, so it's a Christian channel, and this really illustrates why when Christians say, when we talk about some of the atrocities that happen in the Old Testament, Christians will often say, oh, well, that's the Old Testament, and yet, like, disregard the Old Testament, only the New Covenant is the valid one. And yet we've got a Christian channel here going back to Genesis. And let's not forget, there are a lot of Christians, probably quite a high proportion of Christians, who are literalists. They really accept the Bible on its word, Adam and Eve, etc., were the first two human beings. And I wonder whether this is such a channel. They literally accept Genesis as the truth, not metaphorical creation, but an actual creation. Let's have a listen to the introductory video.
Answers to some of the most pressing questions of this age: creation, age of the earth, rock layers, fossils, social issues. And over the centuries, the Bible has come under countless attacks from those who seek to disprove it and to discredit it. And no book of the Bible has come under more attack than the book of Genesis. That's why we here at Answers in Genesis are dedicated to showing you how the Bible offers the best explanations for origin, biology, geology, anthropology, astronomy, and the top social issues of our day. We're going to hear from top experts in their fields who will give you valuable insights to some of the best answers regarding the issues of this age and showing the bankruptcy of evolutionary ideology. You will not want to miss a single lecture or video. If what we do resonates with you, hit that subscribe button, tap that bell. You'll be notified every single time there's a new video uploaded. We pray that this content helps you to defend the faith and proclaim the good news of Jesus Christ. Welcome to Answers in Genesis YouTube channel. Here on this channel,
obviously, I don't like the phrase, the bankruptcy of evolutionary ideology. The theory of evolution by natural selection is not an ideology. It's science which has been established through following the evidence where it leads. So it's quite sort of manipulative. That's my and distorts the true definition of what the theory of evolution is. It makes a lot of claims there that this is the best source of information on many things, on geology, astronomy, science, etc., DNA. So I can only imagine, my first impressions of this channel are that it's not for people who are questioning their faith. It's for people who want to bolster their faith. And it's probably for people who don't really check around and who are not really aware of the science, or they're aware of it, they're disturbed by it, and they're looking for some kind of validation of the beliefs that they've got, namely that Genesis is a true account of creation and that it's in any way reliable, or that it has anything valuable to say about scientific matters. Let's just scroll down then. and have a look at the some of the titles we've got. So I mean, look here, for example, we've got what's catching my eye, evolutionists. So I'm looking at the first video because my pointer probably isn't seeing. I'm looking at the first video on the left at the top row. Evolutionists twist incredible new evidence. You see again, evolutionists, people, scientists in the theory of evolution, evolutionary biologists like Richard Dawkins. I've never really heard I've never heard them called evolutionists by anybody except creationists. This is a term this is a word which is used exclusively, I think, from what I've seen, unless somebody shows me otherwise. I've not seen any. I've only ever seen Christian creationists using this word. The next one, evolutionist beliefs shattered by new theory. Well, I don't know what that is, and I'll obviously have to watch some of these videos, but if the theory of evolution by natural selection can be overturned, the correct way to do that is to submit scientific evidence and papers to the right quarters. And in Nature magazine, for example, science journals get some traction in the universities where the experts are working, and eventually, of course, win a Nobel Prize if they can overturn the theory of evolution. But of course, they're not addressing secular scientists. They're not addressing mainstream science. My guess is, and it's an educated guess, I'm not just plucking it out of thin air, is that this channel is devised for Christians to bolster their own unjustified beliefs. Okay, next one, evolutionists scramble to make sense of this evidence. Christians react to wild new alien life evidence. Scientists just predicted the end of humanity. Let's have a look at what's the rest of that title. Christians respond. The next one, she mocks Jesus, then this happens. Oh, I see. So that's probably something on television or a video. She mocks Jesus and then some kind of misfortune happens to her. Well, that's how Christians think, that if you blaspheme or if you mock Christianity, then something bad will happen to you. As I've said many times, and it's become a catchphrase in atheist circles online, there's no hate like Christian love. What else have we got? Archaeologists discover who the original American Indians, the original Americans were. I suspect a lot of this is disinformation, unscientific, science denial agenda to bolster the beliefs of existing Christians. Here we are. The Bible reveals the truth about fossil fuels and climate change. I mean, how can a theological text possibly that was written like 4,000 or 5,000 years ago by people who knew so little they couldn't even get the order of creation right? They've got plants growing before the sun is created. How can Genesis possibly have anything to say that could be taken seriously on scientific matters? Oh, here we are. When trans people regret transitioning, heartbreaking story. Oh yeah, well I can imagine what that is. Somebody who's got gender dysphoria, has the operation, becomes a trans female, for example, from being a male, and then regrets it, has the operation. Oh my God, what have I done? I can imagine what that is. And of course, there will be occasional trans people who regret transitioning. But what does that prove? Just that people can make mistakes. Where are the ancient Romans? The truth about dinosaurs. Evolutionists have fooled millions about this. Oh, I can't wait to see that one. Yeah. Okay, well, that's about it. Most of it seems to be on the theory of evolution. And one can imagine that this would be very important to disprove the theory of evolution, to validate what is claimed in the Old Testament in Genesis. So, okay, well, I don't know. I will spend a bit of time looking at some of these videos and maybe doing my own reaction videos, but it doesn't surprise me really what I've found on Answers in Genesis. As I said, just a channel to convince existing Christians that they're right in their beliefs. I actually know a Christian. He's an old man, 70, 75 years old. He's he lives here in the UK, and he actually said to me in a social setting, unbelievably so, I've made a video about this before. He said that a friend of his in his church had told him that people who believe in evolution, they haven't even read that book. And I said to him, what book? You know, that book. I mean, he couldn't even say what it is. And I said, oh, you mean The Theory of Evolution by Natural Selection by Charles Darwin? Yeah, that's the one. And I mean, he is the kind of person that this channel is designed for. Somebody who lives in a echo chamber or in a vacuum of his own religious thoughts. He's never probably honestly. I was actually going to send him a book for Christmas, Why Evolution is True, something that really condenses it down. Because when you see a big thick book, you know, the theory of evolution is really not that complex. You can distill it down and you can make it really quite comprehensible and reasonable and demonstrate that the evidence is there to support it. You don't need to read a great big book. All you need is, you know, quite a clear account, something like what Richard Dawkins. I mean, even The Blind Watchmaker, you don't even really need to read that. I believe there's a small book, Why Evolution is True, summarizing it. I thought of sending it to him for Christmas, but I doubt if he would read it. It would just be a waste of my money. So yeah, so for people like him who think that those people who don't believe in who believe in the theory of evolution but haven't read Darwin and therefore are not rationally justified in accepting the theory of evolution, people like him, this is probably that kind of channel. Yeah. So I mean, it's like people generally accept the theory of evolution because it's considered to be a scientific fact. And in the same way that I haven't read up in depth on the germ theory of disease, I consider it to be it's a scientific fact that microbes cause these diseases. And I don't need to become an expert and read a big textbook on the germ theory of disease to accept that this seems to be the scientific consensus, and I can be justified and in accepting that microbes cause disease. In the same way, you can be justified in accepting the theory of evolution without really understanding the mechanics of exactly how it worked. So it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant whether somebody's read the theory of evolution or not, as to whether they're rationally justified in accepting it as a theory. It's not necessary because it's a widely considered fact. Yeah, so that would be a waste of money, I think so. And I can imagine that definitely he is exactly the kind of person that this channel is designed for. Certainly not to convince atheists that Genesis has really anything useful to say about science and about the theory of evolution. Okay, well, that's enough from me. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll be back again with another video. Bye for now.